Connecticut's budget crisis is nearly 3 years old. Like virtually every other state in the nation, our budget has been devastated by global recession. But today, it's time to turn the page. The people of Connecticut elected us to avoid gridlock and solve the budget deficit. We are here today to announce a budget agreement between the majority legislative leadership and the governor of the state of Connecticut. Governor Malloy deserves much credit for proposing a courageous and honest and balanced budget in February. As a result, this budget agreement today has no borrowing, no gimmicks, no one-time revenues. It has $2 billion in concessions for state employees, more than any other governor has asked for. The budget contains tough spending cuts and consolidations for nearly every state agency and department. And the revenue increases have been modified to help preserve jobs and protect families struggling in these tough times. Governor Malloy has raised the bar, and we're announcing that tomorrow the General Assembly's budget committees will approve a budget that adheres to the framework that he proposed.
This budget builds upon Governor Malloy's framework and is a balanced solution to the deficit. Spending reductions, government efficiencies, taxes, and concessions. I want to thank Governor Malloy for putting forward a responsible, honest budget. But the budget is a result of many people willing to work hard, willing to work together, and willing to listen to reasonable ideas for the best solution for Connecticut. From the beginning, we talked about how making certain shared sacrifice also needed to be fair sacrifice. Our committees, Finance and Appropriations, listened to the public, as did the governor, and worked to improve the framework. Working together, we've achieved that in this budget. It asks more of our wealthiest residents who can afford it. It softens the tax burden on the middle class while maintaining funding for schools, cities and towns, and protects our most vulnerable citizens. This is a fair, responsible budget that will move Connecticut forward. And as we share in our sacrifice to benefit our state, Connecticut, we too will share in its recovery and prosperity. And with that, I'd like to introduce our fine governor, Governor Daniel Malloy.
When I proposed this budget on February 16th, I said I thought it was the right framework and that it was built on the right principles. No new spending, no gimmicks, no deferring of our obligations, and shared sacrifice. Within that framework, I said I was open to hearing better ideas and negotiating with the legislature. And that's exactly what happened. As you know, I did 17 town hall meetings, and many state representatives and state senators and members of the leadership specifically attended those. I was listening, and in listening was well prepared for the discussions that needed to take place between my office and that of the committee chairs and the Senate and House leadership. I'm proud to say that in the end result is a better product, as I had anticipated it would be, than the February 16th document. That's because more people had more time to have a substantial input on this document. But it does honor the framework, an important framework that means that we will be compliant with generally accepted accounting principles, that we're not filled with gimmicks, that we understand the hard work that remains to be done, and that we are willing to work with all representatives of good intentions to resolve the state's problems, Republicans and Democrats. Now, some people might say, where are the Republicans today? I want you to say that there's been no exclusion on my part of willingness to accept input from Republicans on this budget. But there is a simple reality. The time was passing, and we needed to get the work done. And I am extremely proud of the Democratic caucuses and the committees for their hard work preparatory to this moment and preparatory to tomorrow's votes. What we have here is a framework we can all support. What we have here is a budget which we will build upon in the future. What we have is an opportunity to take our state back, to put it on the right direction, aim it in the right direction, and begin the process of creating jobs once again. This is something that Republicans and Democrats can agree about. Whether we agree with all of the things that are in this budget, whether we agree with all the revenue, or all the cuts, or all the programs, or anything, Democrats and Republicans can join around this concept that Connecticut is going to tell the truth about its budget woes and begin the process of addressing them in a straightforward fashion.